It is the Riot. This is our podcast.
And it's our Friday edition, though you might be listening to it whenever, and that's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm. So here's the stuff that we're looking at today. The podcast starts with a long explanation about Bungie and Destiny.
Did you put that in this?
I'm just going to tell you right now that
Why
if
you
it's
put
not
it in
your
the beginning?
thing, you might go ahead and just skip ahead.
Maybe you should put it at the end of the podcast.
No, Nikki, we put it in there, and a lot of people were very supportive of it.
I know, but we want to start off with our best foot, so I'm afraid what if they stop listening?
Okay, well, here's the thing. If you don't like the Bungie thing, immediately following it, we get into a plague ship.
Okay, there's
full
more
of the
to talk.
norovirus and a cruise.
So there is more stuff you might enjoy.
Things we also find out, what do Samsung and President Trump have in common? What exactly is a hot nacho? We also get into Taco Bell.
Flaming hot nacho.
We just called it the hot nacho. Then we talk about Sydney, Lifetime, and one of the worst pranks you've ever heard.
Okay, so there's
and
lots
we laugh
of stuff.
about it a lot, even though it's not appropriate.
It's not, even though it wasn't as bad when you told the story, I thought someone had died.
Thought it'd be worse?
Yes, I thought it'd be way worse.
Someone did die, Nikki, just not a person.
True, but something larger would have died.
All right. Well, you guys enjoy the podcast, and we will see you later.
Don't forget to join us at riot.radiou.com for one of the stories, the wall one, which you'll hear in a moment. Thanks to everybody who sends in and sent us that one. So if you ever find something that you want us to talk about, you just go to riot.radiou.com. You'll find ways to send it, or you can message us at Radio U Riot on Facebook, or if you email riot@radiou.com. Whatever you find this weekend, we'll talk about it on Monday.
It is the Riot.
Awful, terrible, horrible, pathetic. Someone grab me a thesaurus. I'm gonna need more words to describe how bad these guys are. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Let's get into some nerd stuff. You know the game Destiny? A lot of people played it. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people hated it. So Destiny was made by, it didn't occur to me just how far down the rabbit hole I have to go to explain this.
It's fine. We'll go with you.
Okay, but it's kind of big news. It showed up in Variety, and a lot of people will be talking about it today. But Destiny is made by some people called Bungie. Now, go all the way back to some old school stuff here. Bungie made Halo. Right? So they made Halo, 1 through 3 and a bunch of those. And they were the name in first-person shooter video games for a really long time. So Bungie got bought by Microsoft.
Yeah.
And that's how you ended up with all that Halo stuff on Microsoft. Bungie bought themselves back from Microsoft and went independent.
For Halo or just for everything else? But Microsoft still has Halo.
Microsoft still owns Halo.
Gotcha.
All right? So then Bungie signed this big deal with Activision, and they unveiled this big game that was going to change the way we played video games. It was called Destiny. Instead, it just continued to show us the way we complain about video games.
But still people liked it. It just maybe not as innovative.
Right. So this is crazy, but they signed this deal with Activision where it was a 10-year deal between Bungie and Activision to publish Destiny. And it was supposed to, over the course of 2014 through 2019, there were going to be 3 different Destiny games with different things each year. I mean, it was this huge, huge thing.
But did it not take off enough for them to want to do it?
They've had all kinds of problems and all this stuff. So the big speculation has been, and in some cases the actual news, that Activision and Bungie just didn't get along. And so Bungie had all this stuff they wanted to do, and Activision was like, no, you're going to do it this way, and blah, blah, blah. So the big news last night was Bungie has announced, we bought Destiny back. It's ours.
Again?
And we're doing it on our own.
They bought it back again?
Well, no, they bought...
from the first time?
See, and that's the problem. It's a lot... Even I'm doing it. A lot of the words, you're like, who bought what? Bungie is the company that owned Destiny. But it was like a co-deal with Activision. They bought it back, and now they're going to be self-publishing again. So this is basically like your favorite band when they keep signing with different labels and it never works out.
And then
they announce that they're going indie.
They're doing it themselves, so they create their own thing.
So that's basically what they just did. They were just like, you know what? Screw it. We're leaving our record label and we're going indie again.
So if you liked Destiny, does that mean they're going to do more Destiny games, or is that
I think
did they call it?
I think what it means is I think they're going to get out there, and here would be my guess. They're going to be like, look, we heard you. Okay, we heard you. You've been very unhappy with blah, 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 blah. But we've got it all figured out now. And if you'll just give us one more chance, one more chance.
And that'll be the next one.
We'll never cheat on you guys again. Just give us one more chance.
We promise we'll never go to another label.
Okay. Now, in retrospect, maybe I should have just kept all that to myself.
Maybe not shared it with everybody. Destiny was a very popular game, and we love hearing about it.
It didn't feel complicated until I started having to explain it to someone else.
The Riot spent their entire advertising and promotion budget on catering and craft services.
The junk that guy eats has finally caught up with me.
So please tell your friends. It's The Riot on RadioU.
Something you're not going to feel better about is what's going on with the Oasis of the Seas. Doesn't that sound nice?
It does. Now,
the Oasis of the Sea.
At first, you're like, what is that? And then if you realize that's a cruise ship, it's a very fitting name.
So right now,
this is exactly what we expect to happen on every cruise ship.
Exactly. This is the reason why Nikki and I aren't cruising.
Don't go cruising.
We assume that it's either going to be the Titanic or it's going to be this. They say they've had 277 people that are sick on the boat with the norovirus.
So much to where it's returning to Florida a day early after everyone was hit with a outbreak of norovirus.
Mm-hmm.
It was headed to Jamaica, but returned to Port Canaveral.
Get a load of this. It went to Jamaica, and they wouldn't let, when they got there, they wouldn't let anybody depart.
You took that whole trip, and you can't even get out of the boat and go see where you were trying to go.
No, everyone has to stay on the boat. We're going back to Florida.
The good news is they plan on giving, so Royal Caribbean will give everybody full refunds, but the Oasis of the Sea is expected to go back out again starting on Sunday. And I feel like that's not enough of a clean turnaround.
Well, they say 72 hours.
For norovirus?
For the norovirus. But that's how long it takes to run its course in you. The other thing that they say about it is that, with those experiments, I can't remember. Maybe they probably know. But it was it can live however many days on a towel.
Just there.
And you're like, what do you mean a towel? I mean a towel. Hey, there are these towels. We didn't touch them. We didn't anything. The norovirus can move through the air and land on a towel.
It's almost impossible to totally get rid of, which is why on cruise ships it keeps coming back and back.
So if you're headed out on the Oasis of the Seas, just a heads up.
You weren't heading out.
It's a plague ship. So,
a plague on both of your boats.
Roll the dice, I guess. You've made all these plans. You've gotten there.
I'd like to get some numbers back eventually one day. I want us to see, in comparison to how many cruise ships actually go out, what's the percentage of ones that really get hit with norovirus? That's the only ones we hear about, but that's just the perception that we have.
I don't know. Okay, the interesting thing is, though, how many people is... I don't know how many people actually fit on the boat, but here's a tweet from somebody. I'm on the Oasis of the Seas cruise ship right now, and over 2% of the boat is sick. They're canceling the trip and taking us back to Florida. The one thing that is good, Nikki, I don't know if you saw it, but everybody is now getting a refund.
That's good. So
everybody
is. Especially if you have the norovirus.
Mm-hmm. So,
it's all going back.
So here's somebody that tweeted at Royal Caribbean and said, hey, I heard the boat I'm getting on this weekend, everybody's sick. And they say, we did experience an outbreak on the current Oasis sailing. I see you'll be boarding on Sunday, but no need to worry. We're taking all the necessary precautions.
Should be fine.
Which is exactly what they told the people when they got on this time.
See, I would be worried if I was... Well, maybe you don't have to worry so much if you're the trip right after the plague boat, because that's the cleanest it's probably been. They must go through and they have to scrub it down. You're the one that needs to worry if you're 2 or 3 after.
Mm-hmm. Tiffany says bleach is the only thing that kills it. She just texted us.
Well, that's safe. Wonderfully safe.
Yeah. I'm not. Would you cancel if you found out? Okay.
I don't think you could. I don't know if they'd let you cancel.
No. See, that's just it. Would you say to yourself, well, we spent all this money, we might as well go?
Probably still go.
I guess, when you look at it, you're getting a free cleanse. Everything's coming out.
Who loses weight when you go on a cruise ship? You actually did.
Look at you. Plus, the first couple days will probably be a lot of fun.
And you got the full refund.
So, it's practically free.
I was going to say practically Christmas. Like, it's not. It's not at all. It's practically Sickmas.
you got a gift, and it kept giving.
My favorite part of the worst of the riot, when they shut up and the music starts.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody, and there were so many of you that I couldn't even name you all. They got in touch over the last 12 to 18 hours to let us know about Samsung's new TV.
It actually is so sweet that you not only recognize this is something we want to know about.
Absolutely.
But you go that next step and you send us the details in case we didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good friend right there.
Samsung has just unveiled their new 219-inch TV. It's called The Wall.
So this is not, we also got a lot of people sending us the rolling up TV, but that we had talked about. This is something new.
Mm-hmm. So I guess I could ask you, what do President Trump and Samsung have in common? They're both trying to build the wall.
Hey, if you could put this as the wall, it'd be entertaining. You could have movies.
Oh, my gosh. Dude, think about that. There you go. All Americans suddenly reverse their position, and they're like, we should build the wall.
Yeah, let's have a 219-inch TV called the wall. That's great. That is a massive TV.
Yeah, so there you go. You've got this... That 219 inches, by the way, is more than 18 feet.
Yes, it's at the CES show, obviously in Vegas. It uses micro LED, which creates a brighter image.
It's amazing.
It is like it'd be your whole wall. It would literally be your room's whole wall if you had a room that was big enough to actually have it.
I would just like to see what does like an HD image or a 4K image look like on this.
At that
because
size.
Remember, everything is in a lot of ways is about sizing and kind of about pixel density, because an HD image at 50 inches and a 4K image at 50 image look about the same. But when you put it on an 80-inch TV, you can start to really notice the difference between one or the other. On a 219-inch TV,
I think you're
really going to start to see some difference.
I think you'd see some of it breaking apart.
But I'd like to have that experience, Nikki.
I know, yeah, but you would, I mean, who would have this? It'd be like maybe a hotel or some business or something.
Or maybe just a smart-mouthed,
they're like,
morning show co-host.
How did this man, a part of the RadioU network, get himself a 219-inch TV?
Well... Just think about, you got to think about it as an investment in yourself and an investment in your living space.
No, these are the type of TVs that are not for sale for the normal people. Like, no one's getting this.
Oh, well, Nikki, I never made any claims towards normalcy.
But you're not getting it.
So just keep that in mind.
This is the one where they're like, you're a high-powered CEO, and they're like, here, you may have the TV.
Yeah. The thing that I can't tell is I think that it's a modular piece that you then... that you have to assemble it? Is that what they're saying?
There is a 75-inch modular version coming out.
Okay.
So if you can't do the 219-inch one, there'll be a 75-inch one, too.
That you can actually...
A modular version, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So you could watch it by itself, or you can buy additional screens to snap them together to make a bigger screen.
Mm-hmm. So, it's probably a write-off, the whole thing.
It's a tax write-off.
It's a write-off.
And it's important to have that. I mean, that's how you work that system.
I mean, it's cool that it's like probably, they haven't released a price, but I imagine if I worked for 10 years, I still would not.
Oh, not even close.
Not have enough money to pay for it. But
and this is the type at 219 inches, it doesn't have a price. They're not even telling you the price. They don't want you to know the price because you're not buying it.
You probably have to sign like a body part over or something. Like
you could buy this 75-inch one and then build a bigger TV from there.
I like that.
Roll them together.
I only have a 70-inch now.
We searched for something positive to say about the riot and finally came up with one word. Consistent. Consistently terrible, but still consistent. RadioU.
Nikki, while we're digging through CES stuff, I got something here that looks perfect for you.
Seems like yesterday and today have been so far a lot of CES stuff, the Consumer Electronics Show, so you're getting a lot of tech news.
Yeah, well, and, it's because technically, even though there's all that pre-stuff, CES started... Well, wait, today's Friday. It started Wednesday.
So you're now finally getting a lot of the news.
This looks like something that I could sell to you. The Vava
Just because I
cam.
have a pet?
Mm-hmm. It's basically a little robot camera. So think about a remote control device. It looks kind of like Eve from WALL-E, except it's got wheels instead of floating around.
And it would just kind of drive around?
No, it'll follow your pet around to kind of keep them company.
You mean harass your pet?
Now, Nikki?
Or follow your pet?
What do you think how at first Rolo would hate it, but
maybe he would learn to like it as a friend.
It's got a camera and a two-way voice communication capability. So what's going to happen is your pet's lonely during the day, and you'll be able to see him because it's going to follow him around the house.
Yeah.
And it'll talk to him.
And
you can just be like, hey, Rolo, how's mommy's baby?
Oh, just want to check in to see how you're doing. It has
how are you doing?
Collision detection, so it will roam the house without bumping into anything or it won't fall down the steps.
How about this? It can dispense treats. Shut up. It can take photos or videos, send alerts. It can give you a 360-degree panoramic view of the room.
It? Mm-hmm. And it can also, it has a laser pointer. That's funny.
So it can play with your cat.
With the cat.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like they launched its latest device on Indiegogo the end of last year, and that was $159. And then on retail, it'll officially release next month, and that'll be $300.
Seems like a real deal.
Pairs up with an app so you can use it to control the motion and then take photos and do all the stuff.
You know, it's just as well I don't have a lot of money.
Or maybe it's a bonus that you have allergies, which keeps you from having a pet.
Yes, that too. Because there's just so many things at CES that I look at and I despise them. And I know the real heart of it is, you know, you just don't have the money. So you're like, I don't want it. It's stupid. I don't want it.
But if you had extra money, you're like, yeah, my dog might like this.
I don't even have a dog, but I definitely need this robot to roll around the house and point a laser at stuff.
If it's actively streaming or playing, it lasts about 8 hours. Otherwise, about a week on a single charge.
Think about that. You go away for like 2 days and you're like, I don't know if I can trust him to be all by himself.
See, for me, this is pertinent because, you know, I lost my dog Snickers over Christmas and my dog Rolo is
lonely.
Extremely lonely, like very depressed. And so I was going to look into he might need another doggy buddy.
You don't need another dog.
Maybe I don't want a puppy, so I was going to look for adopting a little older of a dog. Maybe I could be adopting this for $300.
And didn't you have to get on a payment plan for Rolo?
For Rolo? Oh, no, he was a very expensive dog, but...
Okay, well, you know what? This is a one-time payment.
This is just it.
$300. And you know what? He won't need any kind of medical treatment. He just goes on the charger.
Now, I will say the dogs that we were looking at adopting also cost $300.
Just $300?
Just about that. So maybe I'm still deciding on what works best for our household.
I feel really weird about purchasing an animal that hasn't been cooked.
Again, you have allergies. You just can't.
No. It's just the idea of like, okay, if you sell me...
It's a fee.
No, it's not. You're buying an animal.
I am buying it,
It's trafficking.
That's...
Animals. What?
But it's to pay for the care that they had taken of the pet.
No, it's not.
I know it's not.
No, it's not.
So if anybody knows of a 2-year-old dog who needs a home, or I'll look at the robot.
I say go with the robot, but Nikki is willing to put your 2-year-old dog in a home.
No, if there's one that needs adopted.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, who doesn't have a home.
You guys can euphemize the language all you like. It's
just the same. All right. Thanks for showing us the pet camera.
I think you should get it.
Okay.
I think you should spend your money on it.
On my money, and then Rolo ends up hating it.
And then let me have remote control of it.
You could be learning jujitsu right now, or how to drive a race car, or do anything productive with your life, but no. You're listening to the worst of the riot on RadioU.
One of my resolutions going into 2019 has been to go completely vegetarian.
You know, you just can't come out with something honest when you're saying it, can you? Because people are like, oh, you sound so convincing. They're going to think that you actually were going to try that.
Yeah, I'm going to be a complete vegetarian. The problem is that every day I've messed up my resolution.
Really?
I haven't been able to go a whole day.
Well, in this article, it also talks about, you know, if you're a flexitarian. And then I was thinking, deep down, aren't we all flexitarians?
That's called an omnivore?
Yeah. I know what they mean by flexitarian. Like they try maybe a little harder to be more vegetarian or sometimes vegan on certain days, but we all really are just flexitarians.
I find that the harder I try, the worse I do. So my answer to that has been to not try at all.
And just see how it goes.
And as a result, things seem to go okay.
They even out.
Mm-hmm. So the people at Taco Bell want to help me, though. And they say that they're going to be coming out with a vegetarian menu.
So Taco Bell, like all jokes aside, is actually known for being one of the easiest fast food places to eat at if you are a vegetarian or a vegan. Mm-hmm. And they want to do something official for vegans. They've already got a few items that are officially like recognized.
Now, they're not vegan, Nikki. They're vegetarian.
Not. They're vegetarian, yes. But
they got cheese all over.
That's true. But, for vegetarian menus, they want to have an officially recognized menu that you could pull up online or know you could order from, and it'd be fine.
So the American Vegetarian Association is going to step in, and they're going to help. They're going to certify 37 of their ingredients, and then Taco Bell will be able to say, look,
these are fine.
This cheese quesadilla is, in fact, recognized by the American Vegetarian Association. I can't even say it right.
His whole body's rejecting it. Well, it makes sense because I remember when I was a vegan, I had rice from one place once, and then afterwards, like, yeah, that's because we cook it with chicken broth. And you're like, well, wait a minute. You didn't even disclose that or know that. So you would know that these items.
I don't know what it is, but their rice is the best. It is the best rice. I just keep eating it. It's like my body craves it.
I know. You're like, what is this stuff? So you would know that Taco Bell, if you ordered it from there, would have the ingredients that would match what it goes with. It happens. They're like...
I love it so much.
Like, oh, do you like the animal lard that we put in there? It's like, that's why it's so delicious.
It's good, right? It's the fat of animals that makes it good.
Yeah, so Taco Bell will be working on that.
Yes, they are.
And it's sad. Did anybody else enjoy the little rolled taco things from Taco Bell? The crunchy ones? Those were so good, and they just took them away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those are really good.
What were they, like taquitos? That sounds like a taquito.
They look like a taquito, but it's just basically a taco, a crunchy thing rolled up, and they had a chicken version. And now they have the naked chicken taco, which is pretty good too, but I liked the other thing. No go?
Well, the thing is, Nikki, I cleansed over Christmas, so...
You didn't need any more?
I don't need one right now.
All right. Well, that was good, though.
I sure do appreciate it, though. Yeah, I do.
The Riot has a problem with authority.
It's a little rule. Maybe you're not familiar with it. Nobody tells me what to do, ever.
Let me tell you what. I may not be the best person to take advice from on this subject, but I'm going to tell you how I've been running things of late. It goes like this. If I have a want or a need, I just talk to God about it. Straight up. Just like
right
whatever.
Away?
Right away as I can remember, because sometimes, you forget.
Sure.
But there was even something, I was standing in the break room this morning pouring coffee, and I was like, man, it's never going to work out. It's never going to whatever. And it was like God was standing there like, man, if only you knew someone you could talk to about it that might be able to help you figure some things out. And I was like, do you know anybody like that, God? Have you met somebody like, oh, I get it now.
It's you.
I get it now. Okay. I see what you're doing there. I get it. Seriously. Now, it's funny, too, because some people are like, man, don't pray for what you want. Pray for what other people need or whatever. Listen, I'm telling you 100% the person that you are, talk to God about it. And you know what? God's not put off by it. Like this morning when I took a moment and I was like, God, I really need that 219-inch Samsung The Wall TV. And you know what? God was not like, you selfish, stupid little man. He was just like, we'll just put that on this list over here.
It sure does look nice, Obi, doesn't it?
You just be surprised. I think that our take on God sometimes, at least I know, let's take everybody else out. My take on God is that, hey, he thinks I'm stupid and he thinks the stuff I like is stupid and he's only worried about meeting my absolute base level needs. So that means like, sometimes toilet paper, but always water, and that's it. The rest of it, you're just on your own. I want you to know that God loves the person you are. And God is not interested in necessarily making you a multi-billionaire so you can live your life on the side of a beach. But I know this for darn sure. The stuff today that you're worried about, the stuff that you feel like you can't face it, you can't do it, he wants to be there for you and help you with those things. And even some of the little things where you think to yourself, I was reading a friend's post this morning and she was like, you know what? I know this sounds crazy, but I swear to you, God bought me a cup of coffee. And she shared a story about how like she didn't have enough money to get coffee that morning. and something happened and somebody was just like, here, I feel like you need this cup of coffee. And it was like, wait, what? So think about that. Instead of saying that this need is too small or this need is too big, or, you know what, I should stop wanting things and start focusing on whatever, just talk to God about it. And you let God talk to you about what you need, what it's okay to want, things maybe to stop wanting. Like, just talk to God about it and stop worrying about what everybody else thinks or even what you think. And you're like, but what do you talk to God? Like, is there a phone number that I call? Look, right now where you are, God is with you. And if you don't have a relationship with him, just start the opening conversation. Say, Jesus, I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I don't even know how to live. Can you show me how to do this? And you know what? God is all interested in that. Just talk to him. Whatever it is that you need, talk to him.
Starting your day with the worst of the riot is a great idea because it's guaranteed to get better from here. It's The Riot on RadioU.
Somebody needs to save me from my Doritos compulsion.
Doesn't these look good? I really like a spicy chip, and I think this one will be good.
So Doritos has unveiled its Flamin' Hot Nacho Cheese Dorito.
Does Doritos, do they own Cheetos? So is Flaming Hot Cheetos, like, is it going to be the same? Is it going to be the same flavor?
Mm-hmm.
That could be good.
I mean, is it?
But in a Dorito nacho form.
So they have done Flamin' Hot Doritos before, but they were like the tubes or whatever. Like, Doritos has branched out and they'll do like different shaped snacks.
Yeah. But
they have never done a Flamin' Hot triangle.
The traditional Dorito.
And now they're making it happen.
Let's look for these.
Well, it looks like they're actually available today. I know. I'll spend the whole rest of the day driving around and not finding them.
Well, okay, now that is a negative Obi. Okay, come on.
This is, just remember, you're talking to the guy that visited 1,400 grocery stores before we did our streaming of it, including Mark's.
Yeah, but this is Doritos.
I went to Mark's,
This is
Nikki.
Doritos. They're going to have it. And then you could have it for your charity streaming tomorrow morning. Can you imagine?
No, I don't.
Gaming while having Doritos?
Not
just
but
Doritos,
not
but Flaming Hot Nacho Doritos?
That's not going to be a good choice.
Why? It's great.
That's not going to be a good choice.
I think people will really tune in for that.
Think
they
they'll
give
connect
more
with it?
money.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Your concern about my well-being is
yeah,
awesome.
but Flaming Hot Nacho stuff, I mean, it's hot, but it's not too hot, so it's not anything that would destroy you.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You don't know? You haven't tried these yet.
Well, it's going to be
you
the
might
same.
take a bite and be like, what the Flamin' Hot?
No, remember those Doritos, the roulette ones, where they were like, these are so spicy, be prepared. Those are the weakest things ever, so I don't expect these to be unbearable.
You don't think so?
I don't think at all.
Okay, what if they came out with Doritos Unbearably Hot Nacho?
Well, they're going to take that name.
Such a great product name. Have you had our new Unbearably Hot Nacho chips?
If all the other hot flavors we've offered were not enough, so...
Let's see. Jeff says the Flaming Hot Nacho Doritos are amazing. Check Walmart.
Yeah, you got one? Go down there and check today.
I'm just going to tell you, and I know everybody gets mad at me, but the phrase hot nacho, that feels like a euphemism.
That's not. Don't ruin the chip.
Dude, what are you doing? Oh, he gave me a hot nacho.
What's that supposed
Get
to
off
mean?
me.
What is it supposed to mean?
You know what? I'm not here to say what it means. It's fine.
With Walmart, can't you just order it online and then pick it up?
Yeah,
so that
there's
you
got
make
to be
sure
a
it was
minimum
there
for that, right?
A minimum of Doritos.
Oh, so yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I just bought $40 worth of Doritos so I wouldn't have to go in the store.
But they brought it out to me in my car.
I mean, what a savings. It's only a week's worth. I have a problem.
You can buy other stuff, but I'm just giving you ideas, okay?
Man, I ordered all these Doritos, and man, that clerk put a hot nacho in there. That guy's disgusting.
Just shutting all these options down.
How are you feeling? Dude, I had the worst hot nacho last night. You would not believe.
Stop saying that.
What?
Stop it.
What? I don't know what it is.
So
I'm hoping that you can tell me.
So they're already out, the Doritos Flaming Hot Nacho Chips, the Doritos style ones. Not the long, to quote Obi, not the long tube things.
Right. Hey, watch this. I'm going to give Nikki a hot nacho.
See? Stop.
Okay. All right. It's fine. Let's just take a moment then.
I want to take a moment.
Just I got to clean up this hot nacho.
Okay.
There are pros and cons to everything in life, except for the riot. Here, it's no pros and all.
It's the Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, what are your plans for the Super Bowl this year?
Yeah, the Super Bowl. I forgot about that.
It's coming up.
It is. Is it early February? Isn't it like one of the first
It's
couple
either
of
the
days?
3rd or the 10th. And I'm actually not sure which one it is.
And pardon me, but
I don't have any Grey Poupon.
No, have we gotten to the point where we know, or we're not done with that yet, are we?
Where we know who's going to be in it?
Yeah, I don't think we're done yet.
Yeah, we don't know.
We're
yet.
not yet. Okay. Just making sure. So
Hey, I hear you.
we are more college football fans, so I'm not currently following any favorite teams in the NFL right now.
Me either. But that's every year.
Yeah, well, I didn't want it to seem like that. I just want it to seem like, oh, it's an anomaly. It's just this year.
It's just been an off year for me,
Yeah,
a rebuilding year for my fandom.
Normally we love it so much, but no, not. I'll probably watch it, but not too like looking forward to it.
So yesterday, CBS, who has the rights to the Super Bowl this year, they said that one of the things they're going to be doing is having one of the most high-tech Super Bowls ever. They're going to be using 14 cameras that they say will create live virtual graphic elements that are designed to blend into the background. They say it will be the most groundbreaking graphics you've ever seen in a football game.
Woo! Wow! If I wasn't excited before, now I am.
The other thing that's interesting is this will be the first time that multiple 8K cameras are used to capture a sporting event.
Sure.
I mean, and I'm sure someone who knows better than me might be like, that's not true. In Portugal, I don't know.
He doesn't know that.
It's definitely the first time they've done it for the Super Bowl. Now, your first reaction might be like, there are no 8K TVs. You can't watch it. Here's what's interesting about having an 8K camera. This is something that we do on RadioU TV. Like Eric will do this. Is like he'll capture a 4K image, and then with a larger image like that, then you just zoom in.
Scale it down.
It gives you a 1080p image, but it's one you can zoom in without having to use the zoom lens or anything. And so they're saying that with these 8K cameras, they're going to be able to give you tighter, better close-ups than you've ever seen at a sporting event.
Even though you don't have 8K.
Right. So you'll still be getting that HD image, which is 8 times smaller approximately than what they're capturing it at, but they'll just be zoomed in such a way that they say their close-ups are going to blow your mind.
Woo! Again, woo!
Wow!
We're so excited.
I feel my NFL spirit returning even now.
But I wish we didn't take a break this year. I wish we were paying attention more.
So, unfortunately, again, this is the kind of stuff that I am interested in hearing about sports.
This side of it.
Right, yeah. That's enough. That is almost enough to make me be like, I want to see what it looks like. And then, of course, it'll look like every other Super Bowl.
Everybody always...
You won't even know.
You'll probably plan to tune in.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that what you do? Don't you just watch the Super Bowl?
You have it on. You watch the commercials before the Super Bowl, and then you watch the Super Bowl with friends, and you're like, oh, yeah, that commercial. And then everybody meets on Monday to talk about it, and you're done.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. Will be your Let's Talk About the Commercials headquarters here on non-commercial radio.
Yes, we'll be the ones you look towards too for all the commentary on the game.
That's actual irony. A non-commercial outlet talking about commercials in a positive light. That's real irony, not coincidence. Most people, you know what? Never mind.
We're done.
Not Hamilton.
We've given all the information.
We thought about selling the worst of the riot. But let's be honest, no one is buying this stuff. Get it for free on the RadioU app.
That's Nikki. I'm Obadiah. This is our show.
Happy Friday. Good morning.
You know, if I wasn't afraid that she was still in bed, we'd call Sydney right now.
Why?
Sydney's the host of the IRS, and Sydney watches more crime procedurals than any person you've ever met.
You're like, I totally binged a whole show over the weekend. She'll like binge an entire season of NCIS. Which, you know, great for NCIS, but it just doesn't seem like a show anyone would watch. Like
anyone under 60.
Yes, like here would watch. But she loves that stuff.
Sydney is the youngest of us, and she's like, oh, yeah. Can't get enough of those CBS dramas.
Isn't she the one that also talked about how that sometimes makes her, like, nervous? Because, you know, you watch all this crime procedure stuff, and it can put things in your head.
She's sitting alone in the studio, and she's like, well, someone's plotting my murder right now. There's probably someone in the hallway.
Is it just NCIS, or does she watch other ones?
She watches all of them.
All of them?
So the reason I want to talk to her, but we aren't going to because I don't want to.
Well, I'm sure she was up late watching them.
Seepy. Is that she's been going through Criminal Minds now.
Oh,
and
no.
she told, I can't remember, but like every time I see her, I'm like, so Sydney, which one are you on? She's like, season 5. And see her the next day, season 18. She's like, she's like, I'm watching it on 2 phones and a tablet. I'm getting it all happening.
That's how you do it.
She burns through them pretty fast, but they have announced that Criminal Minds is going to be ending.
Which one's Criminal Minds? Criminal Minds. You don't know?
It's the one where a group of police,
CBS?
they work together to solve a crime that is,
criminal.
kind of spectacular.
Okay. Lovely, by the way. Okay, so I'm looking. It started in 2005. So far, is there 310 episodes, maybe? Each member of the Mindhunter team.
It would be better if you would ask Sydney that question.
Oh, you're not just saying it.
Is that
So
what they
season
call themselves? The
15?
Mind Hunters?
Yeah, pretty much. So season 15 will be the last one. How could a show last 15 seasons? That's too much.
Well, see, if there's somebody like Sydney out there, they're perpetuating this cycle.
That's why they last that long.
That's CBS's bread and butter, man. Turn on CBS and every show is about a group of people that come together to solve a crime.
That's how all it is. Well, and then you see their picture. It's like 5 or 6 people. They're all posed in a certain way, and they all have their position in the team.
Guns and flashlights.
Pretty much. Sunglasses sometimes.
Well, depending on where it's located.
All right, so that's going to
They're
end.
all shot in Vancouver. Yeah, it's coming to an end, season 15. I'm afraid to tell Sydney because I don't know how she's going to react to it.
Maybe she'll feel relief because that's an awful lot of shows to have to get through.
She's like, I'm so glad it's canceled. I just can't keep up.
I couldn't go one more season.
I just can't keep up.
This comes back to why Obie and I like international shows a little bit more.
6 episodes.
I have never heard of an international show going 16 seasons. They're all like, here's one season, that's all you get, and it's 4 episodes. Done.
That's it.
I like things when they wrap up, not 15 years later.
Just wrap it up.
So, sorry, Sydney.
Nikki, hey, you know what? I appreciate it. She's an unabashed sports and crime procedural fan. It's not wrong. Or is it?
Maybe it is.
I don't know. Let me put it this way. I'm not mad at her.
The Riot with Obadiah.
Them honey buns and Cheetos done caught up with you.
The Riot with Nikki.
Yeah, she's a liar, because I don't know her. So whatever she says is a lie, so...
The Riot, Radio U.
I'll tell you what it is, Nikki. It's 2016.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So we're going back to then.
October 22nd, 2016.
Someone's just waking up like, no, it's not 2016.
I'm stuck in a time loop.
What happened?
October 22nd, 2016. Let's see. Which game is this? Tiger Stadium. LSU is playing Ole Miss. Ole Miss loses. And what ends up happening is there's a girl that goes to Ole Miss. She agreed that her friend and his 2 friends could spend the night in her dorm room so they could go to the game. She's like, yeah, just come on. You can sleep on the floor, stay in my dorm room, or whatever. So they did. So this guy came back to her dorm room. His name is Max. And Max was like, hey, I left something in here. And so he came back up to get it. And he's like, by the way, check your fish tank. And he left.
What did he do?
Well, there used to be a fish in there.
Oh, no. Did he eat the fish?
He ate the fish.
Yeah. Why?
All right, just as a side note, some of you don't know this, but I feel like this is a good thing for us to talk about headed into the weekend. When you've been tailgating all day, a lot of people feel like tailgating needs to involve drinking. And when you've been drinking after a while with your bros, pretty soon you begin making bets and dares. It just seems to happen.
Suddenly,
you don't start there.
You don't start your Friday thinking, I could eat a fish, from a fish tank.
This time tomorrow, I'm going to be staying in this girl's room while I eat her fish.
It's so mean. She lets you stay there and you eat the fish.
You eat the fish.
So, and he fessed up to it. So does he get punished? Or?
Well, here's the thing. He probably could have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids. But, Nikki, once you eat a fish, that's only the beginning of his journey.
What happened?
Well, what happens after you eat it?
Well, then your body processes it.
Peristalsis takes place in the esophagus.
Let's get medical.
To move the bolus into the stomach.
Okay, so the fish travels down. Mm-hmm. And I want to say fish. It's not like I went to the restaurant and I got some fish. This is the fish tank fish. Mm-hmm. He wasn't ready for that.
He moves from the stomach, Nikki, into the small intestine through a sphincter. You know, the small intestine has 3 distinct parts.
I don't want to know all this.
The ileum, the
Yes.
You just want to stop?
Yes. Just what happened? Did he get sick? Did the fish get him in the end, or what happened?
Well,
it's a terrible way to say it in this horror story.
I wasn't going to say it.
Okay. So
but I'll tell you, the fish came out the end.
Okay.
And then...
What happened? Tell me. I must have closure.
You sure you want to know?
No. Well, you're telling us. I can't leave the room.
You screamed, tell me.
That's all you heard?
That's all I heard.
Fine,
okay?
Tell me what happened to the poor goldfish.
After the fish had finished its journey through...
And he can't live through that, can he? It's not like a miracle.
It's not.
Okay, he's gone.
But he was recognizable to a certain extent when he exited. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Nikki...
No, did they put it back in the tank?
No, but you know, phones these days have cameras.
Yeah.
They can send each other pictures.
And
so he sent a picture to her and said, found your fish.
How terribly nasty is this guy? That was too much.
You know what's sad?
That is so mean.
I know people like this.
I know you do. That's because you have a friend who used to like to poop in the elevator. So you know plenty of people who have problems.
I know people that would have done this. Like, this story doesn't seem that outlandish because it's like, oh, yep.
Yep, that's it. You all have the one friend who has no problem with that stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I could name 5 people just right off the top of my head.
So then did she tell authorities on him because he sent the picture?
Yeah, it took a long time, but for
the fish to go through his body or just to get in trouble?
No, like to get in trouble, like for this all to happen. It's been 2 years. He had a warrant out for his arrest, but they just never went and arrested him. Mm-hmm. And they got him now.
Okay.
So he's been arrested and charged with animal cruelty and like a couple other things. When they arrested him, they found marijuana in his car that he was unable. He said it was medical, but he couldn't provide documentation.
Well, it's medical because he's eating things he should not be eating.
Doctor, I have a lot of trouble with my intestinal tract.
Yes, of course you do.
I also have that thing where you eat stuff. So, like, you know.
Oh, the sofa or the fish from the fish tank?
What's interesting to me, though, is like they nailed him last year and like called him, like did the investigation. They have the recorded confession on the phone. They just never did anything else about it. And then he just happened to get picked up and they were like, oh, yeah, by the way, you're in trouble for eating that fish.
Come on in. So, 2 years later. Yeah. We're here for you guys. So let's just go ahead and say, please don't do that this weekend.
Well, I mean,
is that what you want to get picked up for?
Just remember, it all started with one drink.
Wish the worst of the riot would never end?
Everything that has a beginning has an end.
What is wrong with you? Get our daily podcast through iTunes, Google Play, or the RadioU app.
Anybody pay attention last month when, Christmas was happening?
Oh, remember Christmas?
You guys,
remember how nice it was?
Anybody see Christmas? What defines Christmas for you? For a lot of people, it's Christmas movies on Hallmark. But you know, Hallmark has been so successful lately that a lot of people are trying to rip them off.
And have their own romantic sort of Hallmarky style movies.
Right. So Lifetime Forever was a network about women barely escaping from abuseful men. Like, that's what it was. But they were like, wait a minute, ratings, hello? And so this year they did a whole run of Christmas movies that, as I understand it,
did well.
Were basically Hallmark movies, right? Except there's just one tiny little problem, okay? There was a Lifetime movie called Christmas Harmony.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. In that movie, Christmas Harmony, At some point, they show a photo of a family, and they say that in that photo that this woman says, I like them. They're festive. This is a photo of the family. And the guy says, they're ugly. Well, guess what? That's a family photo of real people, Satim and Catherine and their little baby. And that's the photo that the guy says is ugly.
So it's not like a stock photo, sort of. It's an actual photo?
Nope. It's an actual photo that I guess they pulled it.
Someone maybe got it, received the Christmas card. It's basically a Christmas card, but it just has their picture on the front.
They sent 50 of those portraits out to friends and family. None of them work at Lifetime. And that photo of them, of their Christmas card, showed up in the movie without their permission.
How weird.
And they are
mad,
suing.
Sure. They called them ugly. That's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not ugly.
The reality,
or the card of being put up on the fridge is the part that they're saying ugly.
Now, somebody calling you ugly on TV, I mean, you're not going to get to sue over that. But the use of your image in a commercial way without permission,
that you can't do.
Let me tell you what.
Someone's going to have a better 2019 Christmas, aren't they?
Christmas this year is going to feature diamonds.
Money.
It's going to feature a car out front
maybe
with a
big
little
vacation.
bow on it.
Oh, an actual bow for the car.
Mm-hmm. Do you know that car dealerships actually have those bows?
They do?
If you buy a car at Christmas, they will give you a huge bow,
but you can't just go and ask for a bow?
Probably not. You'd probably be taking one without permission.
And putting it on the fridge.
And I have a theory about this. I think that if someone's Christmas card showed up in a Hallmark movie and they were called ugly, which first off, someone on Hallmark would never say that. I think
that's a Lifetime attitude.
I think that they would just be like, you know what? It is such an honor to be a part of this. I love it so much. But on Lifetime, people are like, oh, it's cool, Lifetime. We're going to sue you for all the money.
So no one has responded yet for comments, but the movie aired in November, and that is a Lifetime thing that's going on.
Man, I wish that would have happened to me, because the thing is, if you're going to get sued, I don't want to get sued. Or, no, wait. I don't want to sue somebody because, they broke my leg off or, whatever. But, man, people are calling me ugly now. I'm getting nothing for it.
And they use your Christmas portrait picture? Put
nothing.
It up.
People are like, here, look at Obadiah in this Christmas picture. Now that's ugly.
How weird would that be? You're just watching a random movie, random Lifetime Christmas movie. You're like, wait a minute, is that our Christmas card?
You know what?
That's
tell you.
the weirdest thing.
Honestly, couple tears, and then I would be like, wait a minute. All right, dry these eyes.
Diamond tears.
And get them wet again, because I'm crying tears of joy.
All the way to the bank.
Let me tell you what. We going on vacation.
Normally we don't go to the bank, but we're able to go to the bank now.
And I'll tell you something else, too. Lifetime's going to be like, oh, they just want money. Let's settle. Oh, we're not settling. We're going to court because I'm so emotionally distraught. I can't work anymore.
I can never send out a Christmas card again. I can't receive any Christmas cards.
Christmas was my favorite time of year, and now you've ruined it for me forever.
That's exciting for this family.
Oh, dude, they
sad that they had to go through that, but exciting.
The jackpot.
That is true.
There are two types of people in this world, and neither one of them likes the Riot. You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Nikki and I were talking earlier about your friend and mine, Sydney, the host of the IRS, and how she has
fascination.
She's got a Netflix criminal procedural problem.
So basically, any of the shows like Criminal Minds or NCIS or CSI, any acronym
show,
basically with police stuff and crime, she would watch.
So we were like, man. They announced that Criminal Minds was going to end next year after its 15th season. We were like, man, what the heck? 15th season? How is that even possible? And then, of course, everybody started texting, and they were like, oh, no, you don't even know.
You could do more than that.
Dee said Law and Order is at 20 seasons. They're off, though. They now, one of the Law and Orders.
We didn't watch that. I want someone to tell us a show that we did watch.
Simpsons?
But see, I only watched
30 seasons.
I only watched so many seasons of The Simpsons, and no one recognizes the others. So, early Simpsons people don't like to recognize, and maybe more current Simpsons they don't either.
I don't think I know of a show
that's longer than that.
That went, let's say, more than 10 seasons that I've seen all of.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what that would even be.
I don't even know.
I got nothing.
I don't even think there's anything.
I watched Smallville.
I mean, I thought we were all now just, we're at the point where we're not watching 15 seasons, but we're begging a show to like have a second season. Like, that's basically it.
There's something to that. Okay, but let's see. D said that Law & Order, The Simpsons, and then this person whose name I don't know texted and said South Park is at 22 seasons. But listen, I got to tell you, I got them all beat right now. Okay, there was a show that was just renewed for its 55th season.
Is it like a game show or something, or a soap opera?
Days of Our Lives.
Ah.
On NBC. Days
of Our Lives. How many years? Or series?
55
seasons. Years.
Yeah.
Season. Is a season a year technically then?
Is it?
Pretty much.
Probably.
Maybe.
How many episodes do you think they do on a soap opera every year? The thing that kills me is they produce an hour every day. So, like, think about...
It's not like a good hour, though.
I didn't say it was.
It's not
I didn't say it was, but I want you to think about the grind that those performers have to go through. I mean, like, they have got to do 50. Come on. That's crazy.
Sometimes I feel like with actors, you know, if you're doing a TV show, it's a lot of hard work, but it can sometimes be a lot of hard work for a couple of months. Or if you're doing a movie and then you have a break, but it's very long, hard hours during a really shortened amount of time because they have to film as much as possible.
Right.
It doesn't spread out like over the year. This, for soap opera, it must do that.
I don't know how they do it.
So that would be a lot of work.
It's a ton of work. Man, my grandma used to watch... I don't know which, As the World Turns.
Oh, that's
the one.
Candace says Doctor Who. How many seasons is Doctor Who?
I don't know, but I quit watching.
Because, again, the longer a show gets, it's very hard. It went when, what was the show we watched some of? And that's what tuned me off of watching like longer series. I think it was Grey's Anatomy. When it got to the point where everybody either dies or like you tune back in and this person who'd been married or this or that are now with all these other people. Like they have to fill the years up with drama and it just becomes too much to follow along.
Now, my thing is this, okay, like with Grey's Anatomy is probably a good example. It's been on for 17 years,
yeah, something like that.
And so like you watch a show like that, and then any show like that where you've been really rooting for this one couple to get together, the thing is like once a couple gets together, I want to see them happy. You know, maybe they need to go to counseling. maybe they need to go in and learn how to fight fair, how to talk to each other, how to settle disputes.
Not down.
Right, how to honor each other. Like, so, you know, that's what I want to see happen. But they're just like, man, she done slept with the intern.
It's too hard to keep because they want to then create more conflict, so they just change everything up. And they spent so much time trying to get me to root for that group of people in the first place. And 15 years of it, you're just like, I can't stand it.
I'm often more interested in external conflict than internal. I want to see internal harmony with external conflict. That's
doesn't
fine.
Always fly.
And I know that sometimes external conflict bleeds its way into relationships, but a healthy relationship, we could watch it weather the storms.
So someone tell us a show like that.
That's run for 55 seasons that looks like that.
Maybe it's a soap opera and we just never watched it.
We've never watched it.
I highly doubt it, but maybe.
Just a heads up, I'm not interested.
I know, we're not going to watch that.
This was the worst of the riots, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The Riot exists because RadioU exists, and RadioU only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
What the flamin' hot?